Okay, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today we're making gong sleeves, and basically what we're going to be using is this African print fabric. It's on the other side. I folded it on the wrong side. Then we're going to be using this collar gum, the soft collar gum for it. Then we're also going to be using this lace. This lace is going to be inside the gong sleeve. So let's just go ahead. For this gong sleeve, we're going to be using this as the lining. We're also going to be using this one, the main fabric. We're going to use it as the collar, and we're also going to line it with this material also. The reason why is that the gong sleeve, we tend to see the inside of it, and I basically don't want to use another fabric for it, so I'm going to be using this material also for it. I folded it on the wrong side actually. So for this sleeve, we're going to be making two from this, and what the measurement we're going to be using is the length of the sleeve. That means from the shoulder to the end of the sleeve is going to be about 13 inches. We're going to use 13 inches. So I mark my 13 inches here. As I said, I folded it into two because I want to make two sleeves. So the length of it is 13 inches. So I take my measuring tape and I measure out 13 inches here. Okay, then the width of it is also going to be 13 inches thereabouts. So I take my tape and I measure here. I get 13 inches. I take my tape here and I measure here. I get 13 inches and I get 13 inches here. So I rule it out and I cut. Rather than doing that, I can just fold it into two to be able to make the two sleeves at once, to be able to cut them out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold it into two like this. So you can see this is the double folded edge here. Then I measure it out. I'll trim out this side here because I don't want this selvage of the fabric to show. So I trim it out and I can start my measurements. So there we go. We now measure from the top of it here, 13 inches. Measure 13 inches. I measure 13 inches. This space too is also going to be 13 inches. So I measure my 13 inches. Measure my 13 inches and I draw a straight line. And I trim out. After trimming out here, we now come here and make the head. We form our sleeve. When we're forming our sleeves, if you go to my previous video, you see how to form a sleeve. You first get the head, the cap of the sleeve, which starts from 5 inches. Okay, which is here. We measure down our 5 inches. Measure down our 5 inches. We draw our straight line. And we form our S, our inverted S. Okay, our inverted S all the way here. The reason why we have it this long is because we're going to gather the sleeves. Okay, then we trim it out. So there we have two sleeves. Okay, then we're going to take our collar gum. Okay, we'll take our collar gum and trace out. We'll take our collar gum and place our sleeves on it to trace it out. But while you're doing this, while we're tracing out our sleeve pattern on it, we'll leave like half an inch all the way here so that it will be easy for us to sew while we're sewing it. We just leave half an inch all the way around. Okay, half an inch from the collar gum. Let me show you how we get that done. So this is, so I've cut out the collar gum, so I'm going to be applying the collar gum. We're going to work with one first to the back of this piece. I'll use the iron to apply it, and as I said, we're going to be leaving like half an inch all around it, half an inch all around, so by the time we're sewing, it's going to be easy to sew on. It won't be difficult for the machine needle to go through it. So we give it a good press, and we replicate on the other sleeve also. Just continue giving it a good press. So it has given this collar gum gives structure to the African print fabric. So I'm done ironing down the collar gum on the two sleeves. So what we're going to do now is that, as I said, you can see there's a little bit of allowance here that's not ironed. I didn't put collar gum up to there. So I'm going to take each of these, turn it over, and do right side to right side. We'll place the lining on it. Okay, right side to right side, and just sew it down. We'll be sewing here. We'll sew this side, and we'll sew this side also. We'll leave these two sides, we'll leave them open. We won't sew them because we're going to turn them from there. Then we'll take the second one also. We'll do the same to it. Put right side to right side, right side to right side, right side facing right side, and just sew all the way down. After that, we'll give it a good press, and I'll come and show you. So I've sewn this space down here. I also used a bit of hemming gum, okay, to put here while I was sewing, so that by the time I iron it down, it's going to be very, very neat. So now I'm going to go back to my sewing machine and sew these sides up. Then after sewing, I'll turn at this place, I'll turn it over. The same thing I'll do to this place. I'll go back to the sewing machine, sew these two sides, sew them up, and turn, give it a good press and turn, and I'll come and show us. So I'm done pressing it. As you can see, the edges here are very sharp. So what we're going to be doing next is we're going to cover it, close it up. I'm going to close it up. This is the right side, so I'm going to close it up here, okay, on this side here. So about half an inch here to close it up. But before then, we're going to run gather stitches here. I'm going to run my gather stitches here because I'm going to gather it to the sleeve, the lace sleeve that I'm going to put underneath it, this lace sleeve. So I'm going to gather it in such a way that it's going to fit into this sleeve, the head of this sleeve, because this sleeve is going to be long along with it. So we're going back to the machine. I'll put the gather stitches here. After putting the gather stitches there, I will now close up the two of them, and I'll come and show you. So I'm done with sewing it, both of them down. So basically what I'm going to do now is turn it over. I'm going to turn it, I'm giving it a good press. I'm going to turn it over. Okay. And as I said, I've put the stitches, I've put the gather stitches there. So after turning it over, we'll take the lace sleeve. I'll take the lace sleeve that I want to use. I'm going to go and work on the lace sleeve. This is the lace sleeve. I've already cut it out. The lace sleeve, I've already cut it out. So I'm going to go and sew it down. After sewing it down here from the inside, I'll sew it down here. I'll now fix this place where I've put the gathers now. I'll now gather this top part. I'll gather the top part here, the top of the shoulder, the arm part I'll gather it into the circumference of this one. This is how it's going to be. I'll have to gather it so that it enters right into this space here. I hope we understand that it starts from here, so all the balance of this one here has to be gathered into this place here. So I'll do it and I'll come back and show us how it looks. Okay, so I have, as you can see, this place has been adjusted. Okay, we have sewn it on, and I've gone ahead to pin the lace inside, all the way inside. So I'm going to sew it first. So you can see our sleeve looking really nice. Okay, this is the second one. Okay, so as you can see, this is our sleeve. This is the lace sleeve. I've gone ahead to pin it inside. What I did was that I gathered all around. I gathered it here, especially here, so that it could fit into the sleeves, and I pinned down the sleeves inside. So while I'm going to attach it to the dress, we'll see the finished product, but this basically is how it's done. And this is the end of the lace sleeve. As I said, this is the one that we have not yet fixed the sleeve into, but what I did, as I told you earlier, was to put gathers thread all around. I put the gathers thread all around, and as I put it, I pulled it, and I pulled it to the length, to the width of the lace sleeve that I put inside. The lace sleeve that I put inside. So basically that's how to do it. That's how to go about it. So for the second hand, just to show you how it's being done, this is the lace sleeve for the second hand. You turn it to the right side, okay, and we place it inside. This joining to this joining here, you place it right inside. This joining to this joining here, and you use your pin to hold it down all the way. Then if it has excess, you reduce the gather stitches a bit. You reduce it a bit to be able to accommodate this side, to be able to accommodate the width of the sleeve head. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial of the gong sleeve. If you have, please click on the like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next class. Bye.